Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, tragic airshow crash in England, the Bugatti 100P replica makes first flight, FedEx and pilots reach a tentative work agreement. I'm Bree Cross. It is August 24th, 2015, and this is Airborne Unlimited. A Hawker Hunter military jet, taking part in the Shoreham Air Show in Sussex, England, went down during the air show this weekend. It impacted on a busy highway, resulting in what is reported to have caused the fatal injury of 11 people. However, numerous other people were injured, and according to BBC News, the fatality number could increase. The same BBC News report states that the pilot's name is Andy Hill, and that he was taken by air ambulance to the Royal Sussex County Hospital in critical condition. It's reported police made a statement that he is fighting for his life. The plane impacted several cars on a multiple-lane highway known as A27. Witness Stephen Jones told the BBC that the pilot of the Hunter T Mark 7 had just begun his routine and had performed a loop from which he did not recover. Jones said, quote, "The pilot flew straight into the ground, either on or very close to the A27, which runs past the airport," end quote. The Hawker Hunter is a Cold War-era jet fighter first flown in 1951 and was active with the RAF through the 1950s and early 1960s. Back in the golden age of air racing in the 1930s, air race competition was for much more than the excitement and bragging rights earned by the victor. Small companies and individual designers created magnificent aircraft that often made major breakthroughs in aircraft aerodynamics and design. The Bugatti 100P racer was designed towards this purpose, but the interference of World War II caused this magnificent airplane to be hidden until after the war. It ultimately ended up in EAA's museum in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and is there today for all to view. However, it never actually flew. The effort to build a replica Bugatti 100 airplane by a group of dedicated builders in Tulsa, Oklahoma, reached a significant milestone last week with the first flight of the unique art-deco replica. The first flight was intended to be no more than a takeoff and climb to 100 feet, followed by an immediate landing. The pilot reported that during the short flight, the airplane performed well and was controllable. Unfortunately, the plane was damaged when the right brake failed after landing. The plane veered off the runway, and the counter-rotating propellers took the brunt of the impact. The damage will be repaired, and the airplane will continue test flying in the future. After the break, FedEx pilots reach an agreement.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, Navcom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. FedEx pilots, represented by the Airlines Pilots Association International, have reached a tentative agreement with FedEx management on an amended collective bargaining agreement. The parties have been actively negotiating since 2011. Discussions started in 2011 under a special interim discussions agreement. Formal bargaining began in January 2013. On October 31, 2014, FedEx management filed for mediation with the National Mediation Board. The new agreement is subject to review and finalization of contract language. Terms of the tentative agreement are not being released, as they must first be reviewed and approved by the FedEx ALPA Master Executive Council. If approved by the Council, the tentative agreement will be subject to the ratification vote of over 4,000 FedEx pilots. If ratified, the contract would become amendable in 2021. Each week, we share with you an online video that one of our viewers found especially entertaining. We call it our Aero Video of the Week.
Final liftoff.
If you think climbing into a hot fighter and going vertical to reach 15,000 feet in 45 seconds sounds like fun, this video will validate your conception. Search 15,000 feet in 45 seconds on YouTube. After these messages, the Papal TFR bans UAVs.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B, ATX-100, and ATX-100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The FAA will be issuing temporary flight restrictions in support of the papal visit by Pope Francis, taking place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, September 26th through the 27th. In the initial NOTAM, the FAA makes UAV operations the first item on its prohibited list. For news on the avionics front, we find that the FAA has granted an expansion to Trig Avionics for their ADS-B Supplemental Type Certificate program for the TT-22 transponder. Trig's STC is free for existing and new Trig customers. The Bombardier CS-100 airliner gets closer to certification as they report that over 80% of the required certification tests have been completed for this new member of their C-Series aircraft. The aircraft has logged more than 2,250 flight test hours to date. 3 pilots with Flexjet have been reinstated to their positions with the carrier and made whole for their terminations. An arbitrator found that the pilots' terminations resulted from retaliation for protected union activity in violation of federal labor law. The NTSB has opened an investigation into the August 15th accident involving American Airlines Flight 1851 at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. The airplane impacted runway approach lights, followed by a runway tail strike, and then completed a successful go-around. Well, that's our trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. The FAA will discontinue the Universal Flight Watch frequency 122.0 MHz for in-flight weather services on October 1st. Weather services provided under the En route Flight Advisory Service, better known as EFAS, will continue to be provided via flight service station frequencies listed on aeronautical charts. These are the same frequencies currently used for other flight service station communications. Pilots also may continue to use the universal frequency 122.2 MHz, the FAA said. The changes come as pilots transition from traditional flight service assistance to more automated and web-based tools to obtain services. After October 1st, the FAA will continue to monitor 122.0 MHz for several months to assist pilots in locating a local frequency. The FAA will also issue NOTAMs for each airport at which the service will be discontinued and will update flight information publications during regular publication cycles. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.